Adam Beckman, where does he fit? And I'm not talking on the Iowa roster. I'm not talking about the Minnesota roster in particular. I'm talking about in this organization as a whole. Now, the Minnesota Wild have a great problem right now. Let's be perfectly honest. They have a massive prospects pool on the defensive side, in the goalie side, and in the forward side. And they have a few guys in Iowa who are either knocking on the door, ready for that first big NHL test coming out of camp, even for an extended time if a player's not working out, in the first 20 games of the season. And then you have guys like Adam Beckman, who I truly think is ready for the National Hockey League. Now, obviously, this is the Marco Rossi that everyone wants to see more and quite frankly should be priority given where he was drafted, given, how honestly he did better than Adam Beckman in Iowa the last 2 seasons. But to say that Adam Beckman is, behind even the likes of Sammy Walker, I think is incorrect. Sammy Walker is one of those who was knocking on the door when he was given an opportunity to look good, will be a good call-up guy this season. Now, the Minnesota Wild, they don't have room on the roster to give all 3 of these guys a chance coming out of camp. Like, if we're lucky as a fan, it's going to be one, and it's going to be Rossi. But at the end of the day, Adam Beckman, he's ready. And I hate when all you folks are just look at the points. Okay, yeah, he only has 1 assist in 12 games playing with the Wild versus, Walker, who's able to put up more points. I don't give a shit. You are the same people who just look at analytics and don't actually watch the games. You're on your phone when the game is playing, tweeting about analytics. You gotta mix the analytic, because analytics are a great tool, but you have to mix that with the eye test. Or else I'm never going to take you seriously, to be perfectly honest. And those people who are saying that Adam Beckman are not ready for the National Hockey League, or those who are just looking at their phones, just looking at the numbers. And even then, I feel like you're being biased, because the numbers look damn good for Adam Beckman. 2 full seasons in the American Hockey League. 11 goals, 34 points in 68 games. Fought some injury, fought some adversity from the coaching side too. I mean, the staff clearly didn't have, Tim Army at that time clearly didn't have the confidence in him. And going into this season, no matter, what did they say? He should go home and shoot friggin' pucks at his garage or some bullshit like that. Dude, this year in Iowa, he tore it up. And I refuse to listen to you just numbers who refuse to watch American Hockey League games, and hell, even just footage, not necessarily highs, but footage of this player. Shame on all of you. 24 goals in 53 games. Dude, he was a goal-scoring machine. And it's not even like that was his only tool. The 12 assists, they don't tell you the story of like how aware this guy was on the ice there, how he was one of the better players on this team, especially the second half of the season. But I would say, since day one, obviously there was a couple lows. Every player goes through a few of them in the season. Iowa's season wasn't perfect. There were some ups and downs. Dude, he is so ready. And it's just, he looked so comfortable in his 9 games last year with the Minnesota Wild. Unable to produce, but I don't know if he hit the post of the NHL level, but I know, and Zeke confirmed this, in the AHL, he was hitting posts left, right, and center too, and still scoring at the crazy pace that he was at. Unbelievable. He was always involved in the offense, a very offensive aware player, not a defensive first player by any means, but like, he's not one you have to be worried about on the defensive side. Or at least, like I said, he's very aware in his positioning. Maybe like on the pure one-on-one battles on the board, sure, he's not the biggest guy, but as far as positionally, I don't know, handful of times maybe where like where I've watched some of his plays, watched some AHL games where it's just like, oof, like that wasn't a good shift, that wasn't a good showing by Adam Beckman. And usually when he's out there, you notice him. Great skater, unbelievable shot. So this goes back to my first question. Where does he fit in this organization? Is he too good for the AHL where the Wild have to give him a shot this year? Do the Wild make room for him on the team? That means like literally making a trade to take one of those roster players off. Maybe get a little assets back if it's a Hartman, a Foligno. Name your player there. Do they make room for him? I'm personally not in that camp. I don't think they do that at this point in the offseason. Do they use him to upgrade an NHL roster spot in the sense of adding him in a package with obviously maybe, an NHL player at this point to upgrade a spot? Maybe that's the center position. Maybe that's one of the wingers. Maybe that's, a scorer, an established player who brings what, Beckman brings in the AHL levels. Just an upgrade, because the Wild have like, other than that top line, they got, what did I say last? They got 3 third lines. They got 2 second, you know what I mean? Like, they are a deep team as far as every line's hard to play against, but not every line is ripping it up offensively. So it'd be good to get a more well-rounded player somewhere, second, third line, you know, an established player, an upgrade. I don't know why I keep laying down the hammer on this point, an upgrade. So those are the 3 things. And I'll ask you guys again, comment on YouTube, give us some feedback. Is he too good for the AHL? Do the Minnesota Wild have to make room for him, a la trading a player to make sure that he has a roster spot? Or do the Minnesota Wild use him in a package to upgrade a position in the National Hockey League? Let me know in the comments.